I'm Intruder Green. You might know me from things like Punk Rock Bowling, Queensboro Correctional Facility, and Monday.com. Welcome to the Intruder Green podcast. I hope everyone is doing well out there and enjoying basically what we got is summertime right now, I think. It's real hot and, luckily I got this mask on and it makes everything real, it's like comforting. It's like a nice warm hug in the warm summer. So it feels real good. And I'm still getting ready for this, European tour that we're going on. So it's a lot of fun getting all the logistics together with this tour manager and, Destiny Tour Booking. They booked a tour for us and they're real cool, So it's nice hanging out and just, plugging away at that all day. There's all sorts of, behind the scenes stuff that goes on and I'm getting to find out all about it. Not that I didn't know before, but I don't know. I'm doing a lot more this time. So it's real interesting. If you guys have been checking me out on Instagram and stuff, I started doing some Instagram live things. I think the kids are into that. So I'm supposed to start doing more videos and stuff like that. I'll keep them coming at you. And I got to give the shout outs for wonderful patrons on the Patreon who make it all, make all this worth it and make it all possible. Really, not even worth it. It would be worth it if I wasn't getting, if we weren't doing nothing, but they make it actually possible. So I got Elizabeth Bernards, John Nicholas, James Michael Lamar, Irving Edward, Donald Calvin McGolderson, Hedda Royston, Vaughn Cotton, Chelsea McNally, Carlos Hernandez, and Luke. I think he's a new guy. I ain't seen him on there before. But anyway, thanks to all you guys. Thanks to all our patrons, even the ones who are, donating a little less than that. But you guys anybody can get on a Patreon, become a patron on a Patreon. That's how it works, right? But yeah, you can get on there at patreon.com/Intruder Green. And I forget that I should probably explain what the fuck Patreon is, because not everybody necessarily knows what that is. And it's basically like a way for you to, it's like a donation management website. So you can, you put up a monthly donation on there, and it could be as little as $1, but then there's other tiers you can get where you get a shout out or, you give me a certain amount and I'll sing happy birthday. I'm still trying to figure out other stuff to do. So if you got any suggestions, first of all, the main thing is hit me up on patreon.com. Patreon.com/Intruder Green is real simple. And if you don't want to do that, hit me up on the social medias. I got the Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. I don't know. Instagram's going gangbusters still. I don't know what the hell's wrong with Facebook and Twitter. I get a little love on there too, but not nearly as much. And then if you really want to let me know what you think, give me a call. The Intruder Green call-in line is 608-535-9608. And you can give me a call on there and let me know what's on your mind. Let me know what I should be talking about on the show during these little monologue things I do. Monologue is like you got one log, and that's not enough to make a fire with unless you break it in half and rub two sticks together. And then you got two logs, One log don't make no fire. But, you tell me what you want, and I'll tell you what I want, and then we got two logs, and we can fucking start a fire, all right. But anyway, yeah. Get on the Patreon, please. Just $1 is that's helpful. Every little bit helps. And I really appreciate everybody who is on there now. And like I said earlier, I'm starting to do some more video stuff, mostly on Instagram. I'm trying to think of what I could do for some bigger stuff to put on a YouTube channel or something, to please all you patrons that make all this possible. And maybe we can change up some of the stuff on the Patreon based on that. You get your name in the credits if I make a cool video or something like that. And otherwise, the band is always getting ready to do some stuff, but, everybody's hiding out since we're not on tour. So it's hard to get everybody together. Sometimes you see the guys or we'll find a burner phone and make a phone call to each other. Yeah, have a nice conversation about what we ate for dinner. Probably sardines or something, or pizza, sardine pizza. Yeah, that's delicious actually. It's just like anchovies. I mean, Anchovies get kind of a bad rap, but if you ever actually had those like on a pizza or on a Caesar salad, you might have even had them on a Caesar salad. You didn't even know it. You were just like, this is the most delicious Caesar salad I ever had. And you know why? It was because there was anchovies on it. Anyway, I like to post pictures of myself like cooking and stuff. So hit me up on the Instagram, if nothing else, and try to call in line. Now, I got to tell you about today's episode, or this week's episode, as it were. I had Aranivah on there. That's her Instagram name, and she's kind of like Instagram famous. So that's a real interesting concept. It's kind of like the new thing that everybody's doing. I wish I was Instagram famous. That'd be real cool. Maybe you guys can help me out with that. But yeah, she is also famous for dancing. I found her on Instagram because like I saw her doing all these cool dance videos. She did one for the Interrupters where she's dancing to one of their songs, and I was like, well, that's real cool. So I had to get a hold of her and be like, hey, you seem cool. You want to be in a podcast? Because if you guys didn't know, I do love to dance. It's not just the shtick that we do on the show where I get, we always like do a song or two where I get to dance with somebody from the audience. That was like a demand I made early on because like sometimes I get tired of playing guitar and maybe I'm not so good at it anyway. And I just want to like get down with somebody and cut a rug in the middle of the set. And it's a real good time. So anyway, because of that, I decided to get in touch with Aranivah and say, hey, you want to be on my podcast? Apparently, she's never done a podcast before, so it was real cool that she did this one, and I really appreciate it. I hope she'll do some more. And yeah, you should check out her Instagram. It's just Aranivah, Araniva. And yeah, you can see like all she's doing. She does like dance classes and stuff too. Like she's real good. She's probably way better than me, but I gotta say, I'm kind of expired. No, I'm almost expired. I'll tell you what. All right, but no, I'm inspired actually by her dance moves and her style and everything. She's also got like a clothesline and everything. Not like in wrestling, not that kind of clothesline, but like a clothing line. That's what I should say. Yeah, that's right. So you can go find all her stuff through her Instagram. I think that's where the action is. So anyway, without further ado, on with the show.
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from
Intruder Green,
an inmate at the Durham Correctional Institution. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. To accept charges, press 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, Iromi Aranivah on the Intruder Green podcast, and it's good to meet you. It's interesting. I've been doing this podcast thing for a while, and yeah, I got to tell you a little bit about myself because we really don't know each other at all.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I know you are in some kind of punk rock band. You play the accordion, right?
Yes, I play ratas and cello accordion.
Yeah. That's real cool. So like that kind of ties into what my show's all about because we do a lot of like punk rock stuff here. I'm in a punk rock band called Masked Intruder, and I don't know if you heard of us, but I saw that you were doing that. I was actually following you before that though, because I saw your dance moves on all your videos and stuff, and I like the dance too. So I thought, well, that's some cool stuff to follow. Plus, Instagram kept saying like, oh, you should follow this person because I'm pretty sure they're reading my thoughts. And they're like, oh, we know you like to dance. And I'm like, how do you know that? But they just do.
Yeah, Instagram is creepy. They know how many seconds you spend on each video or each picture.
Yeah, it's messed up. Yeah. So, but you're based out of New York, right?
Yes, I live in Brooklyn. Everything is
Okay,
happening.
that's cool. So like, I guess I should just learn a little bit about, how you got into dancing. Was just like, well, where are you from originally?
So I was born in El Salvador. I came to the US when I was 16. I'm 30 at the time. I don't really remember the years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I discovered punk in El Salvador. I did not dance in El Salvador. I didn't
Oh, so you were
really.
like into punk before you were into dancing?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I did rejected anything that was dancey or tropical. It was just a teenager and very stuck in my ideas, like any other teenager in the world.
Sure,
And
sure.
yeah, like coming here, I connected with other Salvadorians from the scene that were already living here, and they introduced me to the Latino punk community, and like yeah, the rest is story. I started dancing here in New York though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like be having the need to feel quote, quote, Latina or connect in different ways.
Sure. And is there like a different kind of scene for that than the main like punk rock scene?
The thing is like in Brooklyn they were having these parties called Punky Reggae Party, Punky Cumbia Party,
Oh,
where
cool.
it was the Latino punk community, but after the bands, after the noise and everything, they would just play cumbias and play reggae and everybody would just dance.
Oh
I used
yeah.
Yeah, I used to hate it and I was not into it, but once I was partying sober because I was stopped drinking for a while,
Oh yeah.
I just gave in and I was like, oh my god, it's so boring to be sober and bored all the time. So I started dancing and there's not a magical story, there's not an angel that came down from the sky. I just was very bored and I started dancing.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. Like, I like I said, I'm not super into dancing. I like to do a little bit. But like I gotta say, your presence on the internet has kind of like encouraged me to get into it more. And it's really interesting to know that you got into punk rock before you were into dancing. Like I kind of figured it might be the other way around with you. But that's cool. I like that. Yeah, that's really cool that there's like that connection in the scene that you were in.
Yeah, like, I think punk is for teenage people, for younger people, and forever will be in my life. I still play it, doesn't matter how old I get.
Right.
But I think it's most of the time is people find punk very early, and then there's weird people who find punk later in the 20s, and that's just really, really weird.
Yeah, that's pretty
But
strange when that happens.
yeah,
I mean, I don't blame them. I think everyone should get into punk rock at some point and like at least appreciate it. But yeah, when people get like real into something, anything really, when you're already like kind of like grown up and have your kind of ideas about the world, it's kind of weird to go that way. But I can't, I wouldn't hold it against nobody.
I would definitely sometimes.
Yeah, what was it?
I would sometimes.
You will hold it against some people sometimes?
Sometimes there's
Like how so? Like
happens in
why
New York
though?
a lot. In New York, you get all these kids that lived in the middle of nowhere. That there's nothing wrong about that, but they're
Yeah.
just like middle upper class or upper class kids that come from the
Oh
middle,
yeah.
no identity, and they come to New York and they find punk rock. Like I can be a how do you say this word, intellectual and have politic views, and they just get into it when they're very old, and they just
Yeah,
it's
but they're not
the
really into
definition
it
of
for.
hipsters. In New
Yeah,
York, we have a
exactly.
lot of
That's
punks that are
that's what I wanted to say without actually saying it.
yeah, there's a lot of that here. I don't know where you live. You live
Yeah.
in Germany, you said, right?
Yeah, I live in Germany right now, but generally we're from prison.
But I don't know how it is over there. We get a lot of those people here like that.
Oh yeah, New York's like the biggest place for that, right?
Yeah, it's really, really a lot.
Especially Brooklyn these days, from what I hear.
Yeah, definitely depending on the area you are at. Not where I live necessarily, but Williamsburg, Bushwick, Ridgewood, all those areas.
Oh yeah, I know some guys that lived right around in there. They were in this band called I Farm, and they all kind of like are doing different stuff now, but they were real cool. Kind of like thrash band. And yeah, they were around there like maybe 10 or 15 years ago, and then it started like that's about the time it started getting like started to
Yeah.
change, and now I think it's like going full throttle. Like it's real changing real fast.
Yeah, super, super fast.
But you're making it work.
Yeah, there's still places and parties that you can hang out sometimes. But it's in New York. It's always changing. It's like the only thing that is constant. That is
Yeah,
always
right. Yeah, for sure. Well, that's cool. So, like, I see you doing these dances, and like,
like it's crazy to me. Like you got into punk rock and then you started dancing and now you got like a whole, I don't know what to call it, like a career or like maybe not like a full-time career, but like you definitely have sort of like an authoritative presence. Like you're a big in this whole like scene with what you're doing with like the dance videos, and now you teaching dance classes and stuff too.
Yeah, like believe it or not, and a lot of people don't really believe that I do that, but that's my full time
Really,
job. Yeah,
that's cool.
there's a lot of content for me that is paid. Like if bands want their music featured in one of my videos, I will like of course put them to a process to see something that I want to represent, and I want to because everything that I post, I have to stand behind it and completely like put my hands on the fire for this band or this music.
Of
Otherwise, it's
course,
gonna fight me on the ass later. So I do that process where I like check like just research a little bit where do they come from, what do they do, or if musically is something that I'm interested in. If I am, then depending on what they want, there's like a different fee. And I work with brands sometimes for mentionings or classes, and also I have like a clothing line on the side. So there's like different things that I was able to market properly. It's all about marketing. Just art itself, passion itself is nothing if you don't know how to play the rules on this game, on
yeah,
this
yeah.
world, I would
You
say.
got to sell yourself, right? You
Yeah,
got to sell
with
your
dignity, with
brand.
dignity.
Oh, of course, yeah. No, I don't mean like selling yourself like yeah, exactly, with dignity. It doesn't even matter what you're selling. Like anybody can sell themselves with dignity as long as you believe in what you're doing, right?
Yeah, if it feels comfortable still, if it
Right,
feels
exactly,
comfortable.
for sure. And so yeah, that's just amazing that you've been able to do that. Do you have any like classical training, or you just figure it out?
No, that's like a downside, and also I think my biggest treasure.
Yeah,
So whenever you search dance on their Instagram search button, you
yeah.
will see either classical ballet, professional salsa dancers, professional bachata dancers. You will see some like hip hop, but like super polished, beautiful. I'm not saying it's not, just beautiful, perfect choreographies and dancers. And that's what Instagram has under the name of dancing. Like if you search on the internet, you will find ballet, you will find flamenco, you will find stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But that's so unrealistic. When you go to a real party on a normal night, nobody dances like that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've been to
Complete.
some like swing dance places, and well,
Yeah.
actually, like some they call it Latin dance, which
Mm.
that seems like a lot of different things together. And
Yeah.
so, but it's like, yeah, I don't know, like them in that case, maybe they're dancing a specific type of dance, but like, yeah, usually if you're just going out to the club to get down, you're just kind of freestyling, right?
Yeah, and you can tell people who took classes
Mm-hmm.
because you can see it. So something that makes my dancing so easy to digest is that people find it so easy to identify. That little clumsiness that I still have, that little thing that is not polished completely, is not perfect completely, is what makes me a little more human and organic. And I know if I go professional training, I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
even
yeah, that could be.
yeah, it's gonna happen. Like I will lose it, and I will become like a dance product, but a different way. So even when I teach dancing, I always tell people dancing is interpreting music through your body.
Yeah.
Where what you're doing now, when you learn a specific type of dance, is like we're learning options you can use of moves that previous people put together. So you have the option to take them and use them. But I always tell people like they don't think too much on how to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Just do it however you can, and those little mistakes, those little clumsiness, that little thing is what's gonna make your dancing unique and perfect. And not perfect in a sense, but it's gonna make it unique. It's gonna make your own style. If you go fully professional and you learn the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 perfectly, then yeah, you become like a choreographer. And those people, they're trained to do a choreography all equally the same, perfectly equal. So
Yeah.
even for when I teach like just develop your own style before anything. Otherwise, you're gonna kill it before you even started.
Yeah, for sure. I totally get that. I definitely don't, I don't got a whole lot of style, so I just kind of like flail around with my arms and legs, and that works pretty good actually.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody wants to go or learn a specific style or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So like then I wonder, do you dance like are you like gonna dance the same way to like a song? Like if like do you have a specific dance that you do to a song? Like even if it's your own, is it the same every time? Or would you just like do what you're feeling in that moment, you know?
No, I do because I'm a little purist about it, but
Yeah.
like in the sense that I learned, for example, the first time I ever learned or I did dancing, I learned dancing at parties by watching
Oh
people
yeah.
dance. So when I dance, I there was like specific people in the circle or scene that I was dancing. There was some like Caribbean, some Rasta people like from Caribbean. There were also some like white skinheads, and they kind of provided this different. I noticed, like, started noticing, like, Caribbeans didn't dance to the same as the white skinheads that I met, and or Latinos dance completely different because most of them were influenced on the 90s. And I started just gathering like how they differentiate. Like in specifically in England, they have developed a very specific style for ska only itself. And then
Yeah.
you go to the Caribbean, you see Black Caribbeans dance, and they dance completely different than how Jamaicans did it. So I do have like an attitude, I think, in some basics dances move that I dance, but I'm never completely freestyling. I have predetermined dance that inside what I
Mm-hmm.
know that differentiate from one rhythm to the other one, like Northern soul or American soul or 90s ska style or Caribbean traditional style or even like 60s like reggae skinheads will dance reggae differently than how will dance it in Jamaica. So it's
Yeah,
very,
sure.
very complex when you go into the tiny little details. But I'm never completely freestyling in the sense that I don't do just whatever I want. I don't do that.
Oh yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it has like a pattern. I
That's
have a pattern.
that's I think important for me to like get into is having some sort of like pattern or like understanding what I'm doing, because at this point I'm just like winging it completely. So maybe I need to take one of your classes one of these days. How does that work? Do you do stuff like you do? I was checking out your website and stuff, and it looks like you do like online tutorials and stuff. Is that right?
Yes, I do online through a site that I use called Patreon. A lot of people uses it.
Oh yeah, I got that.
You have it?
Oh yeah, I need to make.
Love
I'm.
Patreon.
That's what the podcast is all about. I need to make some, side money. The band makes some money, but I need to like, I got to do something to keep myself out of jail.
Yeah, is the band on the what you do full time?
Oh, like I wish it was, but we can only tour so often. Like the other guys are always getting into trouble and stuff. So like, we tour whenever we can, but it's also it's one of those things. It's like punk rock. There's not as much punk money in punk rock
No.
as there was in the 90s.
Yeah.
I think that's music in general, really. So, like we can't really say that, it's not paying all the bills at this point. But, maybe someday it could. But in the meantime, it's like I like doing this podcast. And if I can make some money on it, then I will keep doing it. It's all about,
Yeah.
I think I saw one of your videos. You were talking about like being a content maker,
Content creator. That's
creator. Yeah, that's
basically what
right.
I am.
Yeah, right. And that's real cool. And holy crap, the one thing I don't even know if I should like if it's gonna be all that interesting to keep in the podcast, but I have to know, like, is there some kind of what process to making those fancy psychedelic videos you do? Because those are amazing. Like sometimes
Oh,
it's just your silhouette and it's got like you're like spinning in a circle and all this stuff.
so yeah, there's not a lot of silent science. People think that it's an app that I just hello?
Yeah.
Hello. Oh
Oh, I'm
yeah, I don't
here.
know why my
Yeah.
phone is doing something weird. Yeah,
All
so
right.
people think it's an iPad that does everything for me. But no, it's a process. Like the way my room is, where I record, and the fact
Yeah.
that it's on the ground doesn't have any windows because it's a basement,
Oh yeah.
uh, allows me to block all the light. So if I put a light on the bottom, like on the further
Yeah.
wall, and then I kind of simmer it and disperse it a little bit with the curtain, and then I dance with the light behind me, and I record on complete dark. I will get my shadow. Then I just play with the settings of the video. I don't even know, to be honest, because I, believe it or not, don't I'm not a very technology oriented person.
That's fine. Neither am I. I'm still somehow making a podcast, you know?
Yeah, so, like I don't know, like it's playing a lot of playing around at the end, and you probably know about it.
Yeah, of
But
course.
I just
I'm
play
still trying to
around
get
with
it right.
things. What do you use? You use SoundCloud when you post it?
No, for the podcast, there's like services that you can subscribe to where you like
Oh,
yeah, well, you know, like it sounds shitty to have to subscribe to something because you're spending money to, but you got to spend money to make money, right? Like that's what they say. So like they got one and it's like you subscribe and then you just upload your podcast and then it puts it out on all the things. Like a lot of people have iPhones, so it's going to be on Apple Music, or it's going to be, if you got an Android thing, it's going to be on like Stitcher and stuff. There's like a whole bunch of different ones for Android phones. And then even YouTube, like it'll throw it up on YouTube. And then you got like your regular web page where people can go to listen to it if they're not into like listening to podcasts in general. So it can be a real cool thing. I mean, it might even be something you want to look into because I know people do like video podcasts too. So I don't know. Could be a cool thing.
I don't think I like the whole recording thing, but I know what you mean. It just makes a lot of sense that to have like a service like that would put it for you.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Because there's so many, ways to listen to podcasts these days that it's nice to have, one place that I put my stuff and then it gets uploaded to everything. Whereas I don't even know how to do it without that. I mean, I could probably
Yeah,
research it and figure it out, but whatever. This one works. It was recommended to
yeah.
me by somebody who does it for a living, so I figure, yeah, if that's what they think is cool, then it's probably cool.
Do you make any money from using that app, that site?
I mean, I make money off the Patreon. That's kind of the way this whole thing gets
Oh,
funded, you know. And
yeah.
yeah, like I'm open to like figuring out other things for it, but at the same time, I don't want to push it too far because I'll tell you what, this is like my side hustle because I got the
Mm-hmm.
band and then I got this. And if blue and red and yellow try to get in on my side hustle because I'm making too much money, then it's going to be a problem and we're going to have to deal with it. So, for right now, it's doing all right.
Yeah, I don't think there's not such thing as making too much money.
Well, I don't know. Considering the state of affairs in the states these days, I don't. That might. I don't know. We might have to agree to disagree on that one. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely be making more, and I'd be way stoked. But we're doing what we
Yeah,
can for now.
yeah. Patreon is like a big chunk of my income as well, but
Well, that's amazing to hear though, because it's such a like futuristic thing where like you pay for your lifestyle or you pay for your life with crowdfunding. It's cool because like so many people, like in the past were always like, oh God, I hate my job, but it's what I have to do to make money. And it's like, well, maybe you don't now. Maybe you could just create things or like do what you love and find a way to make maybe crowdfunding is the way of the future and you can just more and more people can get into it.
yeah, when I saw it for the first time, I was like, "Oh my god!" But not even I was not even doing anything. I was just somebody that I follow. That person said, "Oh, I'm starting this new thing. If you want, you can support me." Blah blah blah. And I
Yeah,
checked it out. I clicked it, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is like the best freaking idea I ever heard. If everybody gave $1 to this person could just live up their passion." So
right.
I joined it right there, like just for to be a patron, not to make money yet.
Yeah,
I joined it. I was like, I will give you my dollar, guy. First $1 doesn't hurt nobody, and it's just like I love what you do. There's no other way that I can. Like, this is my way of saying, oh my God, thank you. I love what you do. And since then, I've been his patron almost for 4 years. I don't even remember.
Oh
And I have
wow.
a lot of people that I'm patrons too. I'm some other YouTuber, a couple of YouTubers actually. So actually, a lot of YouTubers. Now that I think about it, probably
Yeah.
most of
People
them.
making YouTube videos and stuff. Like yeah, that's cool stuff. I probably should do more of that.
I mean, YouTube sucks because I use YouTube and
Oh
it
yeah?
just sucks.
Why
Yeah,
does it suck?
first, I don't like commercials myself. I pay YouTube Red. I don't
Oh
like commercials.
yeah, that's right. They
So,
put those in there.
so I think if I hate commercials, why do I have to make money forcing my audience to watch these horrible commercials
Yeah.
that I don't even have power over what's being showcased to them? So I rather, I mean, you need millions to make sustainable money, anyways, millions. So I don't know. To me, it just makes more sense that I use Patreon. And for me, like if I love what somebody does and believe in what they do, even if I don't really care about what they post in Patreon, I will support them. Like I just like it. I love the concept of it. And me working with Patreon, I love it too. They're so good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Like I'm pretty new to the whole thing. I don't know how long have you been doing this?
Three
Like
years.
dancing? 3 years you've been doing it. For like with the Patreon and with all the dancing videos and everything.
Yeah, 3 years. But my Patreon started picking up on when I kicked 20K. That's when I actually started seeing like three numbers.
20K on Instagram, or like actually what's the best way to like follow you? Is Instagram like the main thing, or do you do something else for the
Instagram is the
kitten
main
caboodle?
thing
All right.
for me, but I think that for everyone is different, and that I should always be in any new platform that opens because
Oh yeah.
you're very fragile by doing something online because if one day the page disappears, everything disappears. Like it has happened to me before,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, and it just sucks. So now I'm like, I don't base my whole trust on one app. I have to be in all of them.
Yeah, that's probably a good choice. You gotta keep that's like diversifying, right? With like
Yeah,
stocks and bonds and stuff.
and
Yeah.
diversify your income too.
Oh yeah, you gotta do that.
Yeah.
Does that mean like buy lots of different cool shit all the time? That's what that means,
Mm,
right?
no, but I mean to me, diversify the income means yes, keep it on the internet, but also like I got offered to do this side clothing line. I took it.
Oh
Live
yeah.
classes as well, paid content as well, brands, any little tiny little incomes. Most of it comes from Instagram. Then the second is Patreon.
Oh yeah. So you make money directly from Instagram.
Not from Instagram, but for businesses in Instagram, like brands or bands that pay me for
Oh yeah,
posting
you were talking about
paid
that
content.
earlier.
Yeah,
Right.
but I do that like mouth to mouth, or at least I deal personally with those inquiries.
Sure, sure. I know what you're saying. And you know what? That brings me to well, I want to talk about your clothing line, but first I gotta mention I saw one of your videos you were dancing to an Interrupters song. And
Oh
that
yeah.
ska band, yeah, and we were just on tour with them when that video came out, and I had already been following you, and I was like, holy crap, that's so cool. Because that band's real cool. And I don't know if that was like a paid thing or whatever, but it's pretty cool that I don't know that you were into them.
So what I was trying to do, yeah, I like a lot of things, and sometimes I purposely will step out of my comfort zone to try something. So a
Oh,
lot of the
cool.
times I play with effects lately. That's what I've been doing lately. I just like playing with the effects
Oh yeah.
on apps and stuff like that. So for that one, I wanted a song that it was not based on the dancing itself, but it will be based on the effects. And I was just throwing effects, and I also said, "Oh, if you would like your band feature like in something like this, because I'm offering more options to people who's interested on videos or content from me."
Yeah.
So I did it with something like that, a song that is not necessarily aggressive. It's pretty dancey. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just was the right thing. Sometimes I will pick up in songs like that I'm not making the video based on the dancing, but more on playing around with the effect, so that the dancing doesn't distract the effects, or that the effects don't distract from the dancing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I have to do.
Sometimes you have to do what?
Sometimes I had to try something like that. Sometimes I will try something very slow,
Oh
so I
yeah.
can just play with the colors and the mood of the video. It depends.
Oh sure. So like yeah, I get what you're saying. Like you might be like, hey, I want to try this special effect, but I need a
Yeah, but
certain
they
kind of
they
song
shared it.
for
A
it.
lot
And
of the
maybe
bands I don't share it.
oh yeah, I know they share it. Like
Yeah.
they were super helpful to us being on tour with them. They were very much like trying to help do like cross promotion and stuff. And I think that's important when you're in kind of like a media, heavy business, like whether
Yeah.
you're creating, content, video content like of dancing and stuff, or you're making music, like okay, you call yourself a content creator, but like, what do you call a band? They're making content, right? It's like the band don't eat unless they're selling records. That's content, right?
It's different because I
Well,
don't
it's a
think they're
little different.
content creators. They are musicians.
Yeah, that's true.
Content creator to me is somebody who just dedicate. Like some people try to tell me that I'm like an influencer. No, you need like millions to be an influencer. I just create content.
Okay.
The thing about it is that there needs to be somebody taking the pictures, or I think live bands, to me they will be entertainers, but I don't know if content as online content creator will be
Yeah.
the thing, unless they're very like dedicated to creating content, uploading it, like audio
Yeah.
visual or visual at least, that can be consumed.
Yeah. I guess I think I smell what you're stepping in. I would say that I think a lot of people who are in bands though wish they could be content creators though, or will try to do that as well.
I guess.
I think it's a good idea. It's a good move. It's a good career move. Thanks for listening to the Intruder Green podcast. By now you probably heard about our sponsor, Stupid Rad Merch Company. And if you haven't, then listen up, because I gotta tell you, Stupid Rad Merch Company is a great web store with a bunch of your favorite bands at stupidradmerch.com. And if you're in a band and need some work done, they can get you totally covered for a modest price and super quick turnaround time. But don't just take it from me. Here's what the ladies from Bad Cop had to say about it.
Comes up with great ideas. It's always pushing, always moving. And Simeon is delightful to work with. He's very responsive and professional, and
it's the quality of the shirts. I like them.
Yeah, high quality.
Very well done. Very well done on the ink.
It really feels like a family again. It feels like it's a place where you can trust what's happening.
And don't forget to use the code PRISON at checkout and get a 15% discount on all Stupid Rad branded apparel. That's PRISON, I think. I don't really know how to spell, but those are the letters they told me to say. StupidRadMerch.com.
StupidRadMerch.com.
I wanted to ask you about your clothing line, which you just mentioned. It's called Rhythm and Wear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think your style is pretty cool.
That one is just starting, and right now I'm working in a new line, because eventually I want to like put more stuff up there.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a while, especially because there's specific things that I want, and sometimes it's hard to find like a t-shirt company that will give me the colors that I want or the fitting that I want, and then I have to just sometimes work with whatever they have at the time, because it's just hard.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because my podcast is actually we got a sponsor called StupidRadMerch.com. Maybe I can hook you up. We can talk about that later though. Yeah, and I noticed like you part of your videos too was that you're always like wearing pretty cool clothes, and like you got some kind of like style. And I don't know, I guess you kind of change it based on the music and everything, or like the type of video you're trying to make. But like, is there like a name for the style you're super into or anything?
Yeah, a lot of people, that the second question that I get all the time, maybe the most popular, besides things related to dancing, is where did you get that? 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 Oh, where did you buy your store? What store did you buy in? Most of the times I thrift.
Yeah, of course.
I don't really
That's
go
the way
to.
to do it.
It's more fun, to be honest. At the beginning, I felt it frustrating, but once you pick it up, it's fun. So I always tell people like stores or brands can give you style. That's something
Right.
that you simply do by repeating the same type of clothes that you like all the time. And you're right, I would change according to the song, just because I don't want to come into a like super like traditional skinhead ska night out thing when I'm dancing
Yeah.
to cumbia. It's just so unnecessary and just super unnecessary. And all of them, if you pay attention, all of them they go by hand. I always waist high waist. I like a lot of ringers. I don't really like t-shirts with a lot of big drawings in the middle,
Hmm.
unless like when I'm sleeping or cleaning the house, like band t-shirts and stuff like that. I wear a lot of dress, a lot of white stockings, so it repeats itself. Not necessarily all the time I have to be like on my super night out outfit. Sometimes I do it in pajamas or the clothes that I'm cleaning, and I do it on purpose too, because it just humanizes you. Like to do a video barefoot and not with not a lot of makeup and not like the fanciest clothes, like you're wearing a costume, makes you more human, makes you more people feels a little bit more identified with you, instead of this thing that is always covered in makeup or dressed a super traditional skinhead night out. Like no.
Right, right, right. Yeah, you want to make your own way, obviously, because like if you were just doing it, you just blend into the machinery too much, and probably people would lose interest after a while too.
Yeah, it makes you look unreal. It's
Yeah,
just people also wants to see people not being perfect, people with their hair not perfect, with their makeup not perfect. It makes you more human. It makes you more people. It makes people more easy to identify with you than with this super makeup icon
yeah.
all the time. It's just unreal. Nobody lives like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I think that's a pretty cool thing about your content is you're always kind of like working on your own style.
So
So
yeah,
I
rhythm and
appreciate
dance
that.
to me, oh,
Yeah.
to me was like just an option, or to give people, oh, there's like some stuff that I do. But to be honest, like there's so many things that I cannot still make. It's because
That you cannot still
providers
make.
and stuff like that. Hmm?
I'm sorry, I missed what you were saying there. That so many things that you cannot make or what?
Yeah, like I still not able to satisfy myself as a creator of.
Oh, okay.
I'm still like so unsatisfied with it. I wish I can have more options on colors and styles. Like right now I want jumpsuits and they don't have freaking jumpsuits.
Oh shit. So
So
you want to like start making your own clothes more?
if I had the time to sew, I would probably
Yeah.
do it, and the freaking skills. But I don't know, because that's a lot of work.
That's a lot of skill too.
Yeah, and work. I
Yeah.
I'm very skilled with my hands. I think I could do it, but it's so much work.
Yeah, if you want something good, you got to do a lot of work. But I'm sure there's somebody out there who will be like interested in like making clothes for you because they know you're gonna rock them and you're gonna look real cool when you're doing your dance videos. And they're gonna be like, "Yeah, I made that," and then they could have like a company, and they're like I don't know, could be somebody with like an Etsy store or something, and they could just be like, "Hey, I make clothes for Aranivah," and then they're blowing up along with you. Yeah,
Mm, yeah, that would be the perfect scenario. But once it doesn't get here, like you have to do whatever you can do with whatever
yeah,
you have.
right. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
like the optimal scenario that I don't have to do
Yeah,
anything but
I
wear
think
it.
it could happen though. I think it will happen.
I hope so.
So I gotta say, I love all every time I see you dancing, it's always to some really cool music. Like most of the stuff I get involved with it's all punk rock. Like I'm in a punk rock band. We tour with punk rock bands. I hear punk rock all the time, and it's nice to get away from that. And like sometimes I just like want to watch one of your videos just to hear the music. Like I mean, obviously I want to see you dance too because you're real good at it, and I'm into dancing. But it's real good music. And do you have like any kind of like favorite musicians you want to talk about, or like a favorite style?
Not necessarily. I discovered that first. all the
Yeah.
music that I dance, personally like it all the time. But
Yeah.
I am very strategic of the music that I pick.
Yeah.
I have a pattern that is the main pattern that I follow, where I will pick whatever is unknown for the mainstream,
Yeah.
unknown enough for the mainstream, but known enough for the underground.
Oh yeah.
You cannot just do like something super obscure and super rare, or something super popular that is everywhere, because then you don't go anywhere. What I do by picking like whatever is right in the middle is that people who is from the subculture be like, oh, I love that song, I love it, that's like a banger. And people who never heard of it will be like, oh my god, that is so interesting, I never heard that before. And everybody else is already saying, I love that song, I love that song, I love that song, that's a great song, that's a great song. People who knows about it. And people who doesn't, it's reading good comments about the song. It's actually it's a hit because it was a hit on the underground, so it's a
Yeah.
hit by definition. And they discover a new song that I never heard before. And hits most of the time are like the perfect introduction to a rhythm or something like that, a new genre of music.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's like real cool. You know, like when I'm making a playlist or something, that's generally how I go. Because I like a lot of bands who have like, you know, I don't necessarily want to play their big song that everybody knows. I want to hear like the other stuff that's you know, all the people who are really into them know, and they're like pretty much exactly what you're saying.
Mm-hmm,
I don't need to reiterate what you just said, but yeah, I totally get it, and I think that's real cool. I like to dance to Harry Belafonte. Now, how do you feel about him?
I don't know what that is.
Harry Belafonte? You don't know Harry Belafonte?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, girl, you got to check it out.
Everybody tells me that, I never check them.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, honestly, he's pretty mainstream, which is why I thought you had like known about him or whatever. But like, if you ever seen the movie Beetlejuice, he's got like two big songs in that one, and it's good.
I've
It's
seen
like
Beetlejuice.
never seen Beetlejuice. Holy crap! Well, you got to see that movie, girl. But yeah. Anyway, that's like music I like to dance to. And I also like technically, you know, part of what we do is Mass Intruder as I dance to one of our songs. And I usually get somebody from the audience to dance with me, and it's real fun. But it's like technically I'm dancing to punk rock. And like, you know, like, do you dance to punk rock that often, or is it mostly just like, you know, different stuff?
For me,
Yeah.
depends. Punk culture is very extensive. Then there is, of course, that in any culture, any full complete culture has its forms of dance. There, there is only one time of year that I still mosh pit. For me, that is like a legit way of dance, just like any other one. And people think it's just about, and you, of course, you know, you get this part because you yourself play music, and you probably have danced to or have pogo
Oh yeah, of
music
course.
before. But it's not really just hitting each other. It's like
Oh yeah.
this mass of energy of people just connecting. You're connecting, but in another level. It's very interesting. I love it, to be honest. But I will
Yeah.
do it only once a year for a specific festival, and that's it. I don't do it anymore. Or sometimes rarely. So that would be. I would consider that for me as dancing, I guess. When it
Yeah.
comes to punk, that's as far as I go, I guess. And
Yeah,
then of
yeah.
course there's bands like that are more digestible, like the Interrupters. That it's
Oh
just like
sure.
easier.
Yeah. So you said a festival. Is there a specific festival, or are you just saying like once a year?
No. The Latino Punk Fest here in New York, but that's just because
Oh,
a lot of
yeah.
people come from outside, so we're very excited to receive people, and we're not give a good impression that our scene doesn't suck, and probably does, but we want to give the impression that we're fun and we don't hate each other, at least for a weekend.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, that's very cool. Okay. So part of what we do on the show here is I like to play a conversation game, and usually we just play Would You Rather. You ever play Would You Rather?
Yeah.
All right. Would you mind? Oh, you doing okay there?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to stay healthy here. If you got it in you, we could just do a couple Would You Rather questions. And, you know, if you could answer them, I will have to answer them too. You ready for that?
Oh wait, do I get to ask too, or you just get to ask?
Oh yeah, if you got one, I would love to hear yours.
No, I'm just
Usually,
asking so I have to think about it or not.
oh yeah. Well, that's the funny thing. Usually when I play this with people, I expect them to like come with something, and then nobody ever
Oh,
does. So I'm like asking all the questions. But if you got something, I would love to hear it.
okay,
But I could start out if you want.
okay.
Okay. So I guess this is like almost an existential kind of thing. But don't think too much about it because I
Yeah, then
certainly.
there's no point.
Yeah, exactly. So would you rather lose the ability to lie or believe everything you're told?
Lose the ability to lie. I can live with that.
Losing the ability. Oh yeah, you just damn. Yeah, I guess that's very I don't know, what's the word? Like not pragmatic, but like it's very good of you and like pure. That's pretty cool that you said that. Because it could happen. I seen that movie with Jim Carrey, Liar Liar.
Oh
You ever
yeah,
seen that movie?
yeah.
Yeah. Jim Carrey's hilarious.
I love Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? Yeah. Let's see. Would you rather experience the beginning of planet Earth or the end of it?
The beginning.
Yeah. I feel like that might be kind of weird because, like, who knows what the beginning of planet Earth would be like? Oh, man, it would be pretty interesting, I suppose. But, like, then what? Then you're living at the beginning of planet Earth, and it's like, I mean, we don't even technically know what the Earth was like back then. Could be like real shitty,
It
or
probably was, but if I had the option, it would be more interesting than the end. The end would be just sad.
I mean, the end could be pretty cool. Like I'm picturing like the sun exploding, and suddenly it gets real hot, but it'd be like real cool visually. And then you're dead. You don't have to deal with all the aftermath of like dealing with the beginning of the Earth, which would be like maybe a lot of pain and suffering.
Yes, it would be the same.
You think it would just be the same? All right,
Yeah.
fair enough. Here. Oh, this is an interesting one. Or maybe it's not so interesting, but I think you might have an opinion. Do you drink coffee?
No.
All right. Well, never mind this fucking question then. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Would you rather have 7 fingers on each hand or 7 toes on each foot?
Say it again.
Would you rather have 7 fingers on each hand or 7 toes on each foot?
7 toes.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I almost think I'd rather have 7 fingers because it'd be like, I don't know, maybe you could do. Then again, if you had 7 toes, you'd probably have more balance, right? Which would be better for dancing.
Yeah, you people adapt. But hands, I would be thinking it was so annoying.
Well, yeah, I suppose like if you want to wear gloves, that's the thing. It's like you couldn't if you had the 7 toes, you couldn't necessarily wear those toe socks. But I don't really want to wear those anyway.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Yeah, they're pretty weird looking. But yeah, I think yeah, I got that. Do you got any would you rathers?
Yeah, but now I feel bad because mine are very vapid and mundane, and yours are so profound.
No, I didn't come up with those myself. I looked them up on the internet. So please ask away. I would really like to ponder your questions.
Would you rather step on a pile of puppies or never play music again?
Oh crap. Step on a pile of puppies.
Yeah.
I mean, could I just lightly like tiptoe on them?
No, you will have to kill the puppies.
Oh no, I don't want to kill the puppies. That sounds terrible. Yeah, I think if faced with that, I think I would just stop playing music. It would be real fucking hard, but I would do that for the puppies because I love puppies. Maybe I would just go into like I don't know, being like a puppy sanctuary person or something. I don't know. That's probably a way to make money doing that, right?
Yeah.
How about you? What would you do? I mean, you don't really play music. Oh, you play music. You're in.
Oh, I will definitely stop playing music. It's so much freaking work, and it gives me no money.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you're preaching to the choir on that one.
It's so much work, and it's like
it is so much work.
Getting paid.
I wish people realized how much fucking work it is because, goddamn, yeah, and there's very little money in it. There used to be a lot, I think, maybe like in the 70s or the 80s, but
Oh, definitely.
not no more. Yeah, not no more. The internet ruined everything, but they also
Oh,
made it pretty
I
cool.
don't think so. I think the internet united us. It just changed it.
Yeah.
It changed, but I don't think it ruined it.
Yeah, I would like to agree with that. I think they did unite everybody, but we also kind of found out that like maybe we don't necessarily want to be united with everybody, or some people just need to wise the fuck up and understand that just because people are different doesn't mean they're bad or wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I live in a very specific place, so out of New York, everything is different.
Well, yeah, but like at the same time, New York's like the fucking when people talk about America being a melting pot, I mean that's pretty much the epitome of it, right?
Yeah, but I mean, what I mean is like everybody here is different than everybody, but nobody really seems to mind that. Everybody just wants to make
Right.
money,
Yeah,
be
that's what I
happy, be
mean.
left alone.
Exactly. And that's pretty cool. Where you go to some places that aren't so yeah, I guess okay, I see what you're saying. I was thinking about it coming from the other end where you were saying you live in a specific place and I was thinking of like, well, like Omaha, Nebraska is a pretty specific place too.
Yeah, when
But
when I
there ain't that many different people there.
no, that's what I meant by because you said not everybody maybe wants to be united, and maybe being different is not me doesn't mean that somebody's bad. And I said, yeah, but I mean, I don't really suffer that because I live in New York. But as soon as I step out of New York, I
Yeah, then you
feel
see the
weird.
prejudice and stuff, right?
Yeah, especially in places like Connecticut.
Oh yeah.
So weird.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty, but hopefully the internet will continue changing everything, and we'll all be better off for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why do you think the bands are not making money now? And
Oh, because of the
always
internet. Because
why?
well, it used to be, that it used to be like what? Think about even just the 1980s, or even go back to the 60s. You like to listen to a lot of music from the 60s, right? Or
Yeah.
like the 50s. I don't know. I don't know what dates are, but like they had people buying records and stuff, right? Like you hear a band, you go see them live, or you buy the record, and hey, we had good economies and stuff, so people could spend money on like seeing bands and buying records. People bought records all through the 80s, and they even had like what are those 8 tracks? You ever listen to 8 tracks?
No.
I did a time or two, but it was kind of weird. They're like cassette tapes, but like in a way shittier, but in a way better. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, then the 80s they had cassette tapes. The 90s they had CDs, which was super cheap. And now guess what they got? They got streaming services. And you know who's not making money off of streaming services is the people making the content for those streaming services.
Well, I don't think if you really think back, the only people who became really like rich with selling records on the 60s and then selling CDs were like the producers. A lot of those people on the 60s, they're dying in poverty. In the 90s, there was like a lot of rip off on the 60s. Like a lot of Jamaican
Yeah, that could
musicians
be.
got ripped off. And yes, the people made a lot of music, the producers or whoever made the
Yeah.
records.
And it might depend on the genre too. Like you said, you think this happens with like Jamaican musicians
Happened
or
a
like
lot of
reggae?
documentary about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, how they ripped them off. They made a sound contract that they gave their music rights away.
Well, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess there's always that's probably always going to happen, and it's terrible. But maybe the internet helps fix that too, because now people should all know better.
I mean, definitely people probably knows better now, but it's not as easy to make money as you said. Like we are super independent. We don't go
Yeah.
through any labels. We don't do anything. We don't do manager. We do everything ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but maybe that's the way of the future. Like labels have changed too, where it's not like a record label used to be like, hey, we'll put your album out, and they just pay for it to get made and pay for it to get pressed. But like anybody can do that now. Like if you can afford to make a record, which anybody like with a little bit of skill when it comes to like audio engineering can afford to do that basically in the basement. So you do that, and then what? You gotta get it. You gotta get it, made. Yeah, but you don't even necessarily gotta do that. You could just put it up on the internet and have people pay for that. Like, yeah, it's cool to have records. Like, I want people to come out with more records, but people don't buy them like they used to. So you can put it on the internet and get people to pay for that, and then it's basically all profit then because you just upload it once, and you might have to pay for like a service that takes a fee or something or a percentage, but like I don't know. When it comes to what the record label has to do, they have to diversify a little bit, I think. Like now you got a lot of record labels who are offering, management service and like hooking you up with agents and just kind of doing like everything else as well.
Yeah.
Which is important, because like there's good people working for the labels too, especially in punk rock, who just want to see the bands, do good. And then, like they got to deal with them, and everybody should be happy if everybody gets it right. But you never know with, entertainment stuff. It's like, what are people into? Hopefully this.
Well, there's some people who is in music who is doing really well. Just not punk.
Yeah, that's true.
Even punk from the early 2000s, they changed their sound.
Oh, yeah. I mean, oh, yeah. I believe that to be true. Or I know that to be true. But, you got to roll with the times, right? Like sometimes you just got to do that.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Well, do you have any other would you rather questions?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, Aranivah, is that what I should call you? I still don't got this right. Or do you like to call the Romy?
No, Aranivah, it's fine.
Okay. I appreciate that and you telling me that. And I appreciate you making time to come on the Intruder Green podcast today.
No, thank you so much. I don't know how should I call you.
You should call me Intruder Green.
Intruder Green. Okay, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Intruder Green.
Of course.
This is my first podcast ever.
Oh, yeah. Your first podcast ever. That's real cool. I'm glad I got to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I hope you'll do many more. I'm hoping I would love to hear more about like your your life and what led you to do all this. I think we covered it pretty good, but there's always going to be more to the story, right?
Yeah, I want to work in a fanzine, like a monthly on Patreon fanzine. That's my next project.
A patron fanzine. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, just like get.
That's like a really great idea.
Yeah, that's my next project.
Excellent. That sounds great. Well, you heard it here first on the Intruder Green podcast, right?
Yeah, it's the first time they mentioned it, actually.
Oh, that's cool. I love it. Well, I can let you go, hon, and you can get over that cold, or it's not a cold. You had some asthma problems, right?
Yeah, right now, actually, I'm gonna go to the doctor. I can't take it anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I hope you are okay, and let me know, if there's anything we can do.
Okay, thank you so much, Intruder Green.
Yeah, thank you for being on it. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Yeah.
And that's it for the Intruder Green podcast. I want to thank Aranivah again for being on it. And thank you to all the patrons and everyone who listens. Love you guys, and thank you so much for making all this possible. Of course, just you guys listening is helpful because of a sponsorship with StupidRedMerchCompany.com. Again, you can get on the Patreon by going to patreon.com/intrudergreen. Hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm just Intruder Green on all of those, The Intruder Green podcast is produced by Colin Bennett, hair and makeup by Genevieve Schmidt, set design by Dylan Raymer, catering by Matthew Hendershot, lighting by Squeak Lights, Rahway, New Jersey. Our theme song is Particles by Type Bros. What do you want for nothing? Rubber biscuit?
Oh my God, there's ants in this place.
Uh-oh, you got ants?
Yeah, I don't know, because summer is starting, not summer, but spring is starting in New York, and animals are coming out of nowhere. Oh, died.